Listen, I'm going to be real with you. If you want to be treated like a queen, you have to start acting like one. This isn't about waiting for someone to come along and magically recognize your worth. It's about stepping into it, owning it, and making it undeniable. Too many people are out here begging for respect, waiting for validation, hoping someone will finally see them for who they are. But that's not how this works. You teach people how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. You want to be treated like a queen? Then start carrying yourself like one. That means confidence. That means boundaries. That means knowing when to walk away and when to stand your ground. And let's be clear, this isn't about arrogance. It's not about playing games or manipulating anyone. It's about self-respect. It's about understanding that when you prioritize yourself, when you set standards, when you radiate self-worth, people respond to that energy. The right men will step up. The wrong ones will step out. So if you're tired of being overlooked, if you're done with feeling unappreciated, if you're ready to stop settling for less than you deserve, then this is for you, because I'm about to break down exactly what it takes to shift the way men see you, the way they treat you, and most importantly, the way you see yourself. Let's get into it. If you want to be treated like a queen, it all starts with owning your worth. This means fully understanding and believing in your value regardless of who recognizes it. Too often, people look to others, friends, partners, society, for validation, hoping that someone else will confirm their importance. But that's backwards. The way people treat you is a direct reflection of how you see yourself. If you don't respect yourself, if you constantly doubt your value, others will pick up on that energy and treat you accordingly. Owning your worth means setting a new standard for how you show up in the world. It's about carrying yourself with the kind of presence that commands respect without demanding it. This isn't about arrogance, it's about self-assurance. A queen doesn't need to convince people she's royalty. She just is. She moves with grace, with confidence, with an unshakable belief in herself. That belief isn't dependent on what anyone else thinks. It comes from within. One of the biggest mistakes people make is shrinking themselves to fit into places where they don't belong. They dim their light to make others comfortable, tolerate disrespect because they're afraid of being alone, and accept less than they deserve because they think that's all they can get. But when you truly own your worth, you stop settling, you stop explaining yourself to people who don't appreciate you, you stop trying to prove yourself to those who don't deserve your energy. Instead, you walk away from anything that doesn't align with your value. The moment you shift into this mindset, everything changes. The way you speak, the way you carry yourself, the way you handle relationships, it all transforms. And the best part, the right people will start treating you accordingly, because they'll see that you won't accept anything less. Setting clear boundaries is one of the most powerful things you can do if you want to be treated like a queen. Boundaries define what you will and won't tolerate, and they send a strong message about how you expect to be treated. Without them, people will walk all over you, not because they're necessarily bad people, but because you haven't made it clear where the line is. Too many people fear setting boundaries because they don't want to seem difficult or push people away. But here's the truth. The only people who get upset about your boundaries are the ones who benefited from you not having any. The ones who truly respect you will honor your limits without hesitation. Boundaries aren't about controlling others. They're about protecting your energy, your peace, and your self-respect. Think about it. When you don't set boundaries, you end up exhausted, resentful, and undervalued. You allow people to take advantage of your time, your kindness, and your patience. And the worst part? It teaches them that it's okay to keep doing it. But when you establish clear limits, you change the dynamic completely. You make it known that you are not someone who can be disrespected, manipulated, or taken for granted. This isn't just about saying no, it's about enforcing your standards. If someone crosses a line, you don't just complain about it, you take action. You distance yourself from people who drain you. You remove yourself from situations that don't align with your values. You teach people how to treat you by refusing to tolerate anything less than what you deserve. The moment you master this, you'll notice a shift. The people who once disregarded your feelings will either step up and respect your space, or they'll leave, and either way you win. Because queens don't beg for respect, they demand it by the way they carry themselves. Confidence is the foundation of being treated like a queen. It's not about being the loudest person in the room or faking an attitude of superiority. It's about carrying yourself with a deep, unshakable belief in your own value. Confidence isn't just something you show on the outside. It's an energy, a presence, a way of moving through life that makes people take notice. When you truly believe in yourself, people feel it. They respond to it, and most importantly, they respect it. The problem is that many people wait for external validation before they allow themselves to feel confident. They think, once I'm more successful, more attractive, more accomplished, then I'll feel good about myself. But confidence doesn't work that way. It's not something you get after achieving something. It's something you cultivate right now, exactly where you are. It's about deciding in this moment that you are enough, that you are worthy, that you deserve to take up space, have a voice, and be treated with respect. Confidence is also about how you present yourself. It's in the way you walk into a room, the way you make eye contact, the way you speak. People pick up on hesitation, insecurity, and self-doubt, just like they pick up on self-assurance. If you don't believe in yourself, why should anyone else? But when you carry yourself with confidence, you automatically set the tone for how others treat you. This doesn't mean you won't have moments of doubt. Everyone does. But the key is to not let those doubts define you. When you walk with confidence, even before you fully feel it, your mind starts to believe it. And the more you reinforce that belief, the more it becomes a natural part of who you are. The result? People see you as someone who knows her worth, commands respect, and refuses to settle for anything less than she deserves. One of the biggest reasons people don't get treated like queens is because they're constantly looking for external validation. They want to be seen, appreciated, and valued by others before they allow themselves to feel worthy. But here's the truth. If you base your self-worth on how others see you, you will always be at their mercy. You'll be on an emotional roller coaster, feeling great when someone praises you and feeling worthless when they ignore you or criticize you. Seeking validation is a trap, and it keeps you stuck in a cycle of needing approval to feel good about yourself. But here's the real issue. When you seek validation, you're actually giving away your power. You're allowing other people to decide how you should feel about yourself, and if they don't give you the response you're hoping for, your confidence crumbles. That's not the energy of a queen. A queen doesn't wait for others to tell her she's valuable. She already knows it. Think about how often people post on social media just to get likes, wear certain outfits just to get compliments, or stay in toxic relationships because they crave validation from someone who doesn't even treat them well. The problem is, when you rely on others for validation, you're putting your self-worth in their hands. And if they decide to take it away, you're left feeling empty. That's why true confidence and self-respect have to come from within. So how do you break free from this? The first step is self-awareness. You have to catch yourself in the act of seeking validation. Ask yourself, am I doing this because it genuinely makes me happy? Or am I doing it because I want someone to approve of me? Once you start recognizing these patterns, you can begin to shift them. The next step is to start validating yourself. Instead of waiting for someone else to tell you that you look good, tell yourself. Instead of waiting for someone to acknowledge your hard work, acknowledge it yourself. Create an internal dialogue where you give yourself the validation you need so that you're not constantly searching for it from others. This doesn't mean you won't appreciate a compliment, or recognition when it comes. It just means you won't depend on it to feel good about yourself. Another powerful way to stop seeking validation is to get comfortable with rejection and disapproval. A queen is not afraid of what people think of her because she knows that not everyone will like her, and she's okay with that. Too often, people mold themselves to fit into situations where they don't even belong just because they're afraid of being judged. But when you truly embrace your worth, you stop caring so much about people's opinions. You realize that the only approval that really matters is your own. This also means setting boundaries when needed. People who seek validation often struggle with saying no because they don't want to disappoint others. They sacrifice their own needs just to be liked, even if it makes them miserable. But when you let go of the need for validation, you gain the ability to stand your ground. You realize that saying no doesn't make you unkind. It makes you self-respecting. And when you respect yourself, others will too. Attracting the right people into your life also becomes easier when you stop seeking validation. When you're constantly looking for approval, you attract people who want to keep you in that position, people who enjoy having control over your emotions. But when you break free from that mindset, you naturally attract those who respect and admire you for who you are, not for what you can do for them. One of the most liberating things you can do is to decide right now that you are enough exactly as you are. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need a certain number of likes, compliments, or approval to be worthy. Your value is not up for debate. The moment you internalize this, you take back your power. Queens don't beg for validation. They don't chase approval. They don't need to be liked by everyone. They simply are confident, secure, and unapologetically themselves. And because of that, they command respect without even trying. That's the energy you need to embody if you want to be treated like a queen. Self-respect is the foundation of how you allow others to treat you. If you don't respect yourself, don't expect anyone else to. People will always take cues from you. How you speak about yourself, how you handle challenges, and how you respond to disrespect all communicate one thing: your level of self-worth. When you prioritize self-respect, you automatically set the standard for how others should engage with you. Self-respect is not just about having confidence, it's about knowing your worth and refusing to accept anything that diminishes it. Too often, people tolerate disrespect, settle for less, or stay in situations that don't serve them simply because they don't truly believe they deserve better. They make excuses for others, overextend themselves to prove their value, and put everyone else's needs before their own. But a queen does the opposite. She stands firm in her worth and refuses to compromise her dignity for anyone. One of the biggest signs of self-respect is how you handle your relationships. Do you allow people to mistreat you and keep coming back? Do you stay in friendships or relationships where you feel unappreciated? If so, it's time to change that. Self-respect means not begging for attention, not chasing after people who don't reciprocate your energy, and not lowering your standards just to keep someone around. It's about understanding that the right people will never require you to sacrifice your dignity. Another key aspect of self-respect is learning to say no without guilt. Many people, especially those who seek approval, struggle with setting boundaries because they don't want to upset others. But constantly saying yes when you want to say no is a form of self-betrayal. Every time you prioritize someone else's comfort over your own well-being, you chip away at your self-respect. A queen knows that saying no is not rude, it's necessary. She doesn't allow guilt to pressure her into things that don't align with her values, and she doesn't feel the need to explain or justify her decisions. Your self-respect is also reflected in how you carry yourself. Do you walk into a room with confidence? Do you hold your head high? Or do you shrink yourself, avoiding eye contact, unsure if you belong? The way you present yourself to the world matters. It sends a message before you even speak. A woman who respects herself, moves with purpose, speaks with certainty, and owns her space. Self-respect also means keeping your standards high, even when it's difficult. It's easy to say you have high standards, but when you're faced with loneliness, pressure, or the temptation to settle, do you still hold the line? Many people compromise their standards because they fear losing opportunities or being alone. But a queen understands that it's better to be alone than in bad company. She would rather wait for what she truly deserves than accept something that doesn't align with her values. This also applies to how you treat yourself. Self-respect is not just about demanding better treatment from others. It's about the way you treat yourself on a daily basis. Are you taking care of your body, your mind, and your emotions? Are you making choices that align with your best self, or are you engaging in habits that undermine your well-being? Respecting yourself means setting personal boundaries, not just with people, but with your own actions. It means choosing discipline over short-term gratification, making decisions that benefit you in the long run, and being mindful of what you allow into your life, from relationships to the content you consume. At the core of self-respect is trusting yourself. It's about knowing that you don't need external validation to confirm your worth. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You are enough, just as you are. And because you know that, you don't tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or situations that don't honor your value. You don't over-explain yourself. You don't beg for love. And you don't accept crumbs when you deserve the whole feast. When you prioritize self-respect, you create a life where you are deeply valued, not because you demanded it, but because you became a person who commands it through your actions, mindset, and presence. And the best part? The more you respect yourself, the more others will naturally follow suit. Because a queen doesn't ask for respect, she embodies it. The energy you put out into the world determines the kind of people, relationships, and opportunities that come into your life. If you want to be treated like a queen, you must embody the energy of one. That means radiating confidence, self-respect, and unwavering standards. The right people will be drawn to you, and the wrong ones will naturally fall away. Attracting the right energy isn't about luck, it's about alignment. You don't get what you wish for, you get what you are. If you constantly feel undervalued, overlooked, or mistreated, take a step back and ask yourself, what kind of energy am I putting out? Are you settling for less, doubting your worth, or allowing negativity to take up space in your life? If so, you may be unintentionally attracting the wrong people and situations. The first step to attracting the right energy is to become the person you want to be treated as. If you want to be surrounded by people who respect you, respect yourself first. If you want a partner who values and prioritizes you, start valuing and prioritizing yourself. Like attracts like. And when you embody the qualities you desire in others, you naturally draw those types of people into your life. This is why self-work is so important. People often focus on finding the right friends, the right partner, or the right opportunities without realizing that their own energy determines who and what shows up for them. If you want to attract kindness, love, and respect, you must first cultivate those qualities within yourself. When you become secure in who you are, you no longer chase validation, settle for toxic relationships, or tolerate low vibrational interactions. Instead, you set a new standard, and only those who match your energy will remain in your life. Another key to attracting the right energy is removing what no longer serves you. You cannot make room for the right people if you are still entertaining the wrong ones. Many people hold on to toxic relationships, friendships, or situations out of fear of being alone, fear of starting over, or fear of the unknown. But keeping the wrong energy around blocks the right energy from coming in. If someone in your life constantly drains you, disrespects you, or makes you feel unworthy, it's time to let them go. Think of it like cleaning out your closet. If you want new, high-quality clothes, you can't keep your closet full of things that no longer fit or serve you. You must make space. The same applies to your energy. The moment you start saying no to negativity, manipulation, and low standards, you create space for better people, experiences, and opportunities to enter. Attracting the right energy also means being mindful of the environments and conversations you engage in. If you surround yourself with negativity, people who gossip, complain, or bring drama, you will absorb that energy even if you don't realize it. But when you spend time with people who inspire, uplift, and encourage you, your energy shifts. You start to think bigger, believe in yourself more, and move with purpose. The energy you consume shapes the energy you give off. One of the most powerful things you can do is trust the process. Sometimes the wrong people will leave your life and it will feel uncomfortable. Sometimes you will have to walk away from situations that once felt safe but no longer align with your growth. That's okay. Trust that when you prioritize your energy, the right things will come to you. A queen does not chase, she attracts. She does not beg for love, respect, or attention. She naturally draws it in by being secure in who she is. She understands that she is a magnet, and what she focuses on, she brings into her life. So if you want to be treated like royalty, start by treating yourself like royalty. Shift your energy, raise your standards, and watch as the right people rise to meet you. One of the most powerful things you can do to be treated like a queen is to master the art of emotional control. The way you react to situations, handle conflict, and manage your emotions plays a significant role in how others perceive and treat you. A woman who is easily triggered, constantly seeking validation, or reacting impulsively is not in control. She is controlled by her emotions. But a woman who remains calm, composed, and confident, no matter what is happening around her, commands respect effortlessly. Emotional control is not about suppressing feelings or pretending nothing affects you. It's about having the self-awareness and discipline to respond rather than react. Many people live their lives in a reactive state, allowing external circumstances to dictate their mood, energy, and self-worth. If someone is kind to them, they feel good. If someone is rude, they feel worthless. If something goes wrong, they spiral into negativity. This lack of control makes them vulnerable to being manipulated, disrespected, and overlooked. A queen, however, understands that her power lies in how she responds to life. She does not allow temporary emotions to dictate permanent decisions. She does not lose herself in arguments or let negativity consume her. When faced with disrespect, she does not react emotionally or lower herself to the level of those trying to provoke her. Instead, she sets boundaries and removes herself from situations that do not align with her worth. Think about the most powerful and influential women in history. They didn't beg for respect or demand attention by being loud and reactive. They commanded it by carrying themselves with grace, confidence, and unwavering self-respect. They knew how to stay composed under pressure, how to communicate with purpose, and how to make decisions from a place of strength rather than emotion. This is what makes a woman truly powerful, not how loudly she speaks, but how deliberately she acts. Emotional control also protects your energy. Not every situation deserves your reaction, and not every comment requires a response. There is strength in silence. When someone tries to provoke you and you refuse to engage, you show them that their words and actions hold no power over you. When you choose to walk away instead of arguing, you maintain your dignity. When you decide that your peace is more important than proving a point, you gain control over your life. This is especially important in relationships. Many people allow their emotions to dictate their self-worth. If someone gives them attention, they feel valued. If that attention is taken away, they feel desperate, insecure, and anxious. But a queen understands that her worth is not dependent on anyone else. She does not need constant reassurance or external validation to feel secure in herself. She knows that she is whole with or without anyone's approval. Emotional control also means knowing when to express your emotions in a way that serves you. It's not about pretending to be unemotional. It's about knowing when and how to communicate your feelings effectively. Instead of lashing out in anger, she expresses herself calmly and assertively. Instead of letting sadness consume her, she allows herself to feel but doesn't let it define her actions. Instead of holding grudges, she forgives. Not for others, but for her own peace. Another aspect of emotional control is the ability to let go. Many people hold on to anger, resentment, and pain, allowing it to shape their actions and relationships. But carrying emotional baggage only weighs you down. A queen knows that she cannot move forward while clinging to the past. She chooses to heal, to grow, and to release anything that no longer serves her. She understands that forgiveness is not about excusing bad behavior. It's about freeing herself from the burden of negativity. Mastering emotional control also means developing a strong sense of self-awareness. Pay attention to what triggers you. Notice patterns in your reactions. Ask yourself, why does this situation make me feel this way? What belief or insecurity is being challenged? The more you understand yourself, the more power you have over your emotions. Instead of being controlled by your feelings, you become the one in control. One of the greatest advantages of emotional control is the respect it earns you. People respect those who cannot be easily shaken. They admire those who carry themselves with composure, even in difficult situations. When you develop the ability to remain calm, think logically, and choose your responses wisely, you become someone that others look up to. In the end, a queen is not ruled by her emotions, she rules over them. She understands that her ability to stay grounded, make rational decisions, and protect her energy is what sets her apart. She does not let circumstances dictate her confidence, and she does not allow negativity to take away her power. She remains steady, secure, and strong no matter what comes her way, and because of that, she is treated with the respect, admiration, and dignity she deserves.